Good morning. Sawadee krab. I'd like to talk about some Taoist concepts that you might find useful. Useful. First of all, there's the word Tao. Tao is a word coined by Lao Tzu to describe the indescribable. We as human beings have to use ideas and concepts and words to express our meaning, Actually, these things are very, very high level, If you think about it, everyone can speak a language, Everyone, even if it's only sign language, we all can speak on a very, very high level. And then there's the nuances of the changing, when you're writing, you change the words around a little bit, have another meaning, have a slightly different meaning. This is very, very high level. This is very, very high level. Yeah. So that's what, that leads me into the next thing, or Wu Wei. Wu Wei. This mastery of language that we can all do is very close to Wu Wei. Wu Wei is it's the way the universe forms everything. Yeah, that's what it is. It's the Tao forms everything naturally, spontaneously, without effort at all. It creates, maintains, and destroys in the cycle all endlessly, and eternally, endlessly, and without effort. So this is like language. Yeah, we are because we can speak like this. This is a very high level of mastery. I had a couple of insights quite some time ago. I've spoken about this, and the way they form was like energy, like the first breath of fresh air in the morning was like that. But they immediately could be formed into words, They're my own words, but it was so easy. I got an idea this is where the scriptures come from. That's where the scriptures come from. They come from this, this spontaneity. Yeah. So now, anything you do, now Gungfu means anything that you do heading toward trying to get to mastery, see? So, it's like a virtuoso musician. He plays what he wants to, He might make a few little mistakes along the way. That means he hasn't quite, he'll be kicking himself a little bit, but people probably don't even notice it, When I was doing the Gungfu many, many years ago, my Sifu told us, don't worry if you're doing the form and you make a mistake, carry on, because no one's going to know. Just carry on as though you haven't made a mistake. Which is true, So if you're a very expert at something, and maybe you can get away with a little bit of leeway there, So yeah, Wu Wei is what we're all aiming for. You see, we're all aiming for this Wu Wei, and even if you're not involved in Taoism, Kung Fu, Qigong, whatever, even if you're not, it doesn't matter. You're still trying to get to this perfection that is Wu Wei. No matter what you do, you're good at something, maybe it's work, maybe it's, now, an example of this, a virtuoso musician or an artist. I've seen this Chinese artist one time. He got the brush, and with one stroke on the canvas, there was a piece of bamboo there, and I went, wow, just one stroke, poof, and then there it was, And then another thing coming from the Chinese is the making of noodles, I don't know if you've ever seen it, they make them by hand. And this guy, he's making them, they sort of flip it in a big basin, with their hands. He had over 300 strands of noodles on his hands, between his hands, How did he ever, one thing is what a level of skill, what a level of skill. But not only that, how did the first person discover it, Yeah. Now, going back to Tao for a sec, now Tao is not God as we might conceive of God, because God is a personality, you see. God is the supreme deity, you see. So, say for instance, we're human beings. We tend to view him as a human being, we are white people, and we tend to view Jesus as a white man. He was definitely not a white man, you know what I mean? We tend to view like that, It's our own prejudice, And I watched a program quite some time ago with my ex, She's a Thai Buddhist, And we're watching this program, and, it's portraying the life of the Buddha. He was, of course, from Nepal, and he's portrayed as an Indian, which he obviously was, his dark colour in that, and she was surprised. And she commented to me, I didn't know the Buddha was an Indian. Because she'd be thinking he was Thai or something, Now, there's another thing I've seen on Facebook is, animals, how would, if the animals had a god, it'd be a monkey god, it'd be a tiger god, And then, but definitely Satan would be the humans. Yeah, the great Satan is just human beings. But speaking of, getting back to Tao again, Tao is that which everything springs from. It's the source of everything. It's the energy. We view it as energy. It's the energy from which everything springs. Everything comes out of this energy. Yeah. Yes. So it's not God. God is the supreme deity. But rather it's the principle of everything. The rule, the principle, you see. I have read that we have subjective and objective, you see. With subjective means coming from our own personal viewpoint. Anything subjective is always an error, because it's always the objective that is the true, and that objectiveness is Tao. That's the principle, that's the principle that we have to. We can bang our head against it, but until we get to know it, we got to know that is Tao, Okay, so yes, this is Gungfu, you see, Gungfu. Now, we're trying to get to Wu Wei, without effort, Now, I find forgetfulness or absent-mindedness quite useful, because sometimes you do something quite difficult, and you, and you're just daydreaming away, and you've forgotten you've done it, So for me, I wear contact lenses. Sometimes I get up in the morning, I'm daydreaming away, and I put my lenses in, you know what I mean? And then I'd forgotten about it. Then I go and get my lens case again to put them in. They're already in, And the same when I take them out, Sometimes I go to take them out again, they're already out, I've done it without effort, without thinking, because it's quite a process, you see. So it's when I'm training, I do that. I forget about everything. I just dance around and do my training, Next thing, I've done this thing that was difficult. Yeah, so forgetfulness is very useful. Forgetfulness is very useful. Okay, now that's Tao, Wu Wei, Tao, Wu Wei, and Kung Fu. There's three concepts. Now I want to look at that Bu Zheng. I think it's called Bu Zheng. That means non-contention. You don't contend with people. Don't contend. There's no need to. You don't have to, you know. My ex says to me, she's surprised that I'm never jealous of anyone. But you know, why should I be jealous? I mean, I am myself. I've got my own gifts and everything, you know. So why someone else is better? I admire them for being better than me at something. It means I don't have to bother with that. Someone else can handle it. You know what I mean? So yeah. So you know. Don't be upset. Don't get into a competition with people, you know. Don't compete. As soon as you notice yourself competing, just drop out of it, you know. Now, people say, oh, competition brings out the best in you, you know. Well, actually, it doesn't. It doesn't. It pushes your limit. It pushes you to do things. But any time you're pushed, you're not in balance. You know, this is not Wu Wei. I have experienced it a couple of times. I think it was due to the fact I was training under a master in Melbourne, Mr. Jack Lim. Jack Lim, he's a very good guy, and so I'm you know, through his auspices, I think I touched on Wu Wei. I was able to achieve things that I wouldn't normally be able to do, but when you're pushed on anything, you know, say there's pressure to do something and all that stuff, it's not, you're not in that free flow of Wu Wei. There's no, you know, you're absolutely balanced. You're in the perfect, quiet position, and your energy is also full. Your energy is also full when you're like that, right? Now, about Qigong. Qigong is the way of cultivating the universal energy. You know, the universal energy is the same as Tao. You know, it's the same because Qi is the energy of Tao. So you're cultivating this universal energy. This energy spreads. It spreads everywhere throughout the whole universe. So you're actually connected to the entire creation, or you know, with everything through this energy and subtle messages. This is why you don't all be prejudiced or hold things in your mind, because that shuts it down. It shuts down your intuition, because always there'll be messages coming through to you. I'm at the stage now, whenever I think of something, I tend to do it, you know, do it then. And then that seems like you seem to go into the flow of the Tao, like this, you know, like the Qi, you know, helping. It's always trying to help you. That's the nature of it. But let me explain also about Qigong. Qigong, the ancient word for it, means no fire. No fire, you see. If there's fire involved, which is the emotions, you know, the blood is stirred, therefore you're not in balance anymore, you see, and your energy is not complete. So you get rid of all this emotion and all this garbage we got going on with us, and we come to peace, and then we can perform optimally. Yeah, okay then. Thank you for listening. So I'll